Good morning, everyone. I'm Rajyashree Shrikant, lecturer in English, Government Polytechnic, Bagyapalli. My topic today is auxiliaries. What are auxiliaries? The auxiliaries are something called helping verbs, or there are two kinds. We have primary auxiliaries and secondary auxiliaries. The secondary auxiliaries are called modals, but auxiliaries in general are called helping verbs. ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ auxiliaries ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು? In English sentences, lot of important meanings are expressed. ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ತರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನೆಗೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಟೈಮ್, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಷನ್, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್, ರೆಪಿಟೇಷನ್, ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ನೆಸ್, ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಆಬ್ಲಿಗೇಷನ್, ವಿಶಸ್, ಈ ತರ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ವರ್ಬ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 5 ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಸ್ 5. ಬಿ ದ ವರ್ಬ್ ಬಿ ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ರೈಟ್, writes, writing, wrote, written are the 5 forms. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ವರ್ಬ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಜುಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ 5 ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಈ 5 ರೀತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋ ಬಯಸೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So in order to give some assistance to these main verbs, we use something called the auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Auxiliary or helping verbs na main verbs joteli use martivi. We use them with the main verbs to indicate person, tense, voice, aspect andre il mele mention agiro anta questioning, negation, time, completion, continuation, repetition, willingness, possibility, obligation, wishes, ee tara nana ರೀತಿಯಾದ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು or moods na ನಾವು convey ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So we have 2 kinds of auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs ನಲ್ಲಿ 2 ರೀತಿ, primary and secondary. Be, do and have are primary auxiliaries. These include the various forms of these verbs. Be, the various forms are am, is, are, was, were, been and being. So ಈ be ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ 5 ರೀತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, 7 ರೀತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Do, does, did and doing and done. Have, has, haven't, had. So these are the different forms of the primary auxiliary be, have and do. Am, is and are, do and does, has and have are all in the present tense. Was, were, did and had are in the past tense. Been, being, doing, done, had can also are in the non-finite forms of the verb. ಈ had ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು past tense ಆಗು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, past participle ಆಗು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. When it becomes a past participle, it becomes a non-finite verb. We will do more about participles in a subsequent class. These primary auxiliaries can be used as both main verbs and auxiliary verbs. The book is on the table. Is ಅನ್ನೋದು main verb ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, because that is the only verb. Ram is making a kite. Illi is another auxiliary verb agutte, because make is the main verb, and it is this primary auxiliary has helped to make the progressive tense. Be is added to others. So now we will find out the uses of these auxiliaries. See, primary auxiliaries na ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬಳಸಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡೋಣ. Be is added to other verbs to make progressive and passive forms. The boys are playing cricket. Or playing is in the progressive tense, present progressive, or is the auxiliary. He was hospitalized for 3 days. Was is the auxiliary. Was hospitalized is the passive form of the verb. Have is used to make perfect forms. So perfect tense ಗಳು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು have use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Have ಅಂದ್ರೆ we are talking about the other forms of the verb have, has and had. They have passed the examination. Have is the auxiliary. Have passed is present perfect tense. It has been raining all night. Has been raining is the present perfect progressive tense. Has is the auxiliary. The train had left when I reached the station. Had left is the past perfect. Had is the auxiliary. Be and have are called tense auxiliaries because they help to form tenses. So ivaga navu be and have ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Do is used to make questions, negatives, and also for emphasis. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು ಒತ್ತಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ emphasis. Do you speak English? Is a question. Do is help to make a question. Does he smoke? Is again a question. It doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't is the negative. Do, does plus not is doesn't. Do is used for emphasis in the following ways. When we want to express an outright contradiction. You may think that I don't enjoy traveling, but I do love it. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ contradiction. ನೀನು ನನ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟ. I do love it. When we want to express a type of contrast. Although I don't enjoy parties, I do go to some occasionally. Nam parties attend ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇನು ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಯಾವತ್ತಾನು ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ನಾವು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. When we want to express a sincere request, do please attend my engagement party. When we want to make an invitation more friendly, do come in, do have some coffee. So now another thing we have to remember about auxiliaries. Most of these auxiliaries help to make the negative. We can add an auxiliary plus not to make the contracted negative form. Andre can plus not will give us can't. Forms of do are useful in expressing similarities and differences in conjunction with so and neither. Hates spinach and so does my son. So itara navu similarity. Nan hentige spinach andre palak soppu. So spinach ishta illa, nan magungu kuda ishta illa. My wife doesn't like spinach, neither do I. Nangu kuda ishta illa. Do is also helpful because it means you don't have to repeat the verb. Lokesh excelled in language studies. So did his brother. So here you don't have to repeat the verb. Excelled is the verb. So adanna matte repeat madod badlu we use just the auxiliary. Sanjay studies as hard as his sister does. So instead of saying Sanjay studies as hard as his sister studies, we instead of repeating the word, we use the auxiliary do. Secondary auxiliaries are also called modal auxiliaries or just modals. These are purely auxiliary verbs. So these secondary auxiliaries now by themselves, andre they are not standalone verbs. You have to use them with other main verbs. Otherwise, they don't have any meaning in a sentence. They cannot be used as main verbs. They combine with main verbs to add or add to or modify their meaning. Can, may, will, shall, could, might, would, should, must, and ought to are modals. Dare, need, and used to are listed under semi-modals. So even now purely modals antivi yavadana can, may, will, shall, could, might, would, should, must, and ought to. They are purely modals. But dare, need, and used to can also be used as modals. So we call them semi-modals because many of them can be, these three can also be used as main verbs. Only thing is, when they are used as main verbs, they have a different meaning. When they are used as auxiliaries, they have a different meaning. We need to examine the uses of these modals to understand them correctly. After modal auxiliaries, we use the infinitive form of the main verb without to, andre the base form. So we just use the verb as it is. We don't use it in the past tense or the ing form. Modals are, I'm not talking about primary auxiliaries. I'm talking about modals. So after modals, we use the base form of the verb. ought is an exception because ought joteli matra navu to use martivi. Modals do not have non-finite forms. That is the infinitive and the participle forms. 2 plus verb form. Non-finite infinitive is the 2 plus verb form. To play, to sing, to sleep. These are infinitives. Verb plus ing, and they're playing, sleeping, studying. They are the participle, present participle, verb plus ing form. And verb plus en andre the past participle form. For example, written, proven, spoken, and many of these verbs also have the same ed form for participles as well, past participle as well. For example, killed, played, etc. Most modals of the contracted negative form. Can't, won't, couldn't, itara. Now, they're a single word and we have a contracted negative. And the contracted andre abbreviated. Please note, shunt and mayn't are used only in British English, and adrallu saha mayn't ana word ivaga almost not in use at all. It's a very obsolete use. There is often used before a modal as a provisional subject, especially if the main verb is be. There will be a seminar on communication skills later today. So, Andre, main verb here is be. We saw that be can be used as the primary auxiliary. It can be used as an auxiliary. In this sentence, it is used as the main verb. There may be a midterm exam later this year. Modals are normally not used to say that a particular situation exists or that particular events have definitely happened. They're used to talk about things which we expect, which are possible, which we think are necessary, which we hope will happen, which we are not sure about, or which have not yet happened. So, ee tara moods ige matra navu auxiliaries na use martivi. Khandita yavado one situation aaytu annavaga navu auxiliaries modals na use madodilla. Let us now examine the uses of individual modals more closely. So, ee modals the uses na navu prati ಒಂದು modals the uses na navu ivaga tilkolona. Uses of can. We use can without to and able to. Many people you might have heard can, able to antare. This is not correct because can itself expresses or indicates ability. To indicate ability of the subject. Inability if the modal is negative. So can andre ability. Can't andre inability agutte. I can speak Kannada. Ability andre nama samarthya. I can speak Kannada. I can't drive a car. Note, we use can to indicate ability in the present, not be able to. I'm able to speak Kannada annadu ನಾವು usually ಬಳಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅಬಿಲಿಟಿನ ಡಿನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಆರ್ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. To express possibility. This river can be crossed. It is possible to cross this river. I can't help you. It is not possible for me to help you. We usually use will be able to, won't be able to, not can when we talk about the future. Now, ಮುಂದೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತ events ಗೆ ನಾವು can use ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. We usually use will be able to or won't be able to in the negative. When I get my driving license, I will be able to drive to college. So, nanu driving license bandaga nane college ge hogabohudu. I will be able to. Note, if the future action arises from present ability, we use can. She can pass the exam next week if she tries hard. Andre ಇವಗಿಂದನೇ ಅವಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅವಳು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. We often use can to say what is characteristic or typical. Bagepalli can be very hot in summer. So it is very typical of the region. It can become very hot in summer. Manju can get very grumpy sometimes. So Manjudu ಒಂಥರ ಅವಳ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್, ಅವಳ ಸ್ವಭಾವ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರದಾನ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Asking for or giving permission. Can I come in? You can go now. So ಈ ತರ asking for permission. Can I come in? ನಾನು ಒಳಗ್ ಬರಬಹುದಾ? You can go now. ನೀನ್ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು. You must remember, when we use can, it is a more informal situation. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯವರ ಹತ್ರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರ ಹತ್ರ ಆ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು, ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡವರಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಮೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಮೇ ಐ ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆಯವ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ borrow your book? You don't say may I borrow your book, you say can. Because when you want to borrow a book, you usually borrow it from a friend. But if you want to borrow your teacher's book, you say may I borrow your book, ma'am? So next, uses of me. Asking for and giving permission. May I use your phone? You may go out with your friends after you finish your homework. The use of may is more polite and formal than can. So you can use can or may for asking for permission and giving permission. But may use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು it is more formal. So usually the formal situation arises when you're talking to people who are older than you or who are above you in a social situation, like maybe your teacher, your boss. ಆ ತರ ಏನಾನು ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆಯವರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮೇ is used for probability or chance. He may be in the library now. Probability, ಸಂಭವನೀಯತೆ. ಅವನು ಇವಾಗ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಸಂಭವ ಇದೆ. I may go to Mumbai next week. I may go. Probable. I have not decided. ಇನ್ನ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಏನು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೋಗಬಹುದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. May is also used in expressing wishes of hopes, or wishes or hopes. Sorry. May God bless you. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಇವನ್ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ತರ ಯೂಸ್ ನ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೇ ಗಾಡ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ ಗಾಡ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು, ಮೇ ಆಲ್ ಯೋರ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಟ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಇಯರ್, ಮೇ ಹಿಸ್ ಸೋಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ವಿಶ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ವಿಶ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ವಿಶ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಶಸ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮೇ. Note, the pronoun you is not used after may. May you live long and happy anta ನಾವು ವಿಶ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಮಿ ಅ ಫೇವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಮೇ ಯು ಡೂ ಮಿ ಅ ಫೇವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಮೇ plus have plus past participle indicates that something was true or happened in the past. She's late. She may have missed her bus. ಸೊ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಅವಳು ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಬಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಯ್ತೇನೋ. ಹಿ ಮೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿ ರೀಚ್. ಮೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್, ಅವನು ಹೊರಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ಗಾಗ್ಲೇ ಇವಾಗ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಮುಟ್ಟೋ ಆ ಜಾಗ ಮುಟ್ಟೋಗ್ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಅವನು ಹೊರಟಿರಬಹುದು, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Difference between can and may. A young student once asked his teacher, "Can I go to the bathroom?" The teacher corrected him by saying, "I don't know, can you?" So here you remember that the student is talking to the teacher. So teacher ಜೊತೆಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಯೂಶಲಿ ಮೋರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆಯವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ when we use it with our peers, it can be used as permission. So here the teacher says, "I don't know, can you?" So the teacher understands it to be, "Can I go to the bathroom?" ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ ಬಾತ್ರೂಮ್ ಹೋಗಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ. She just assumes. The teacher corrected him by saying, "I don't know, can you?" ಅಂತಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಂಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Can is used for permission in an informal setting. Can I borrow your bike? May is used for permission in a more formal setting. May I leave the table? We see or hear may, not, can in official announcements and on signs. Hotel guests may use the gym from 6 a.m. So ಇದು ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೇ ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನ ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. Children under 12 may not use the lift unless accompanied by an adult. So this is a very official sounding announcement. Sorry kids, you can't use this lift unless you're with an adult. Please use the stairs. So this is more informal. So this is not like an announcement, whereas the first one is like an announcement. And may, possibility and probability. This river can be crossed. This river may be crossed. She can jump off the terrace. She may jump off the terrace. The rupee can be devalued. The rupee may be devalued. So now we have used the same sentence with different auxiliaries. Ondralli may use ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಒಂದರಲ್ಲಿ can use ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So ಇದು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ what is the difference? Possibility, can usually indicates possibility. ಇವಾಗ possibility ಅಂದ್ರೆ something might happen. ಆಗುವ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. But just because it is possible, it doesn't mean it is going to happen. We don't know how likely it is. In actual use, the word possibility is most often used with talking about something that has a lesser chance of occurring. So adu ago ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು possibility ಅಂತೀವಿ. Probability means something may happen, but we believe it is more likely. So ಇದು ಆಗುವ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ probability ಅಂತೀವಿ. This refers to the likelihood of something happening. Probability also describes something that might occur, the chance that something might happen. So ivaga usually talk about this, a small scenario when I teach this in the class. I say this river can be crossed, this river may be crossed. Let's just assume a situation. ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಸೈನ್ಯ ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನಮ್ದು and the enemy. So now the two armies are advancing towards each other, but then they come to a river. ಮಧ್ಯ ಒಂದು river ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಮಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಮಿ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೇನಾಪತಿ, our commander in chief, calls two spies, ಇಬ್ರು ಗೂಢಾಚಾರನ್ನ ಕರೆಸ್ತಾನೆ. And he says, ಒಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, just see if this river can be crossed. ಈ ರಿವರ್ ನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ಹೋಗು ಅಂತಾನೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾನೆ, ನೀನ್ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೆಂಗಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ಹೋಗು ಅಂತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಬ್ರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ both of them come back, and then the first one ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಳ್ಸಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ ಅವನು, this river can be crossed ಅಂತಾನೆ. The other person who has gone to the other side to see what the other people are doing, he comes back and says this river may be crossed. So now which of these two sentences would worry our commander in chief? ಈ ಎರಡು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮಾಂಡರ್ ಚೀಫ್ಗೆ, ಸೇನಾಪತಿಗೆ ವರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇದಲ್ವಾ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಈ ರಿವರ್ ನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಮೊದಲು ರಿವರ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವಾಗ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ತಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದ ರಿವರ್. So which means that they have gone to the next step after possibility. So can ge next step is may. So that is how you can imagine the difference between possibility and probability. In other words, it can be said that the probability indicates extent to which an event is likely to occur. It is usually measured by the ratio of the favorable cases to the whole number of cases that are possible. Hence, it can be said that probability is a subset of possibility. So first possibility ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ probability possible ಆಗಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ probable ಇರಲ್ಲ. So possible ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ first possible ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ probable ಕೆಲವಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So it is only a subset. Probability takes into account permutations and combinations to arrive at a conclusion regarding the occurrence of an event among all the possibilities. Uses of will. We use will to indicate the future. This time tomorrow I will be in London. Future. ನಾಳೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಲಂಡನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. You will see that I am right. ಮುಂದೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರು, ನಾನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. He will finish his PhD in December. ಅವನಿಗೆ PhD ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ PhD ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾನೆ. Note, in formal situations, shall is used instead of will in the first person to indicate the future. Formal situation ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾವು ಆಡು ಭಾಷೆ colloquial ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ usually in spoken English we don't use shall much. ಮುಂಚೆ shall they used to use shall more extensively, but nowadays this distinction has reduced, so we use will more, shall only in formal situations. I shall be 20 next birthday. Now usually ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ I will be 20 ಅನ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, but formal situation ನಲ್ಲಿ shall use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Will can express certainty about about the present or future situations. Don't bother them now, they will be having dinner. So you're certain ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಅವರು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. Indicate willingness. I will help you carry your books. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ನಮ್ಗೆ willingness ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. To indicate requests, offers and orders. Will you lend me a scooter please? Request. Will you have some coffee? Offer. So will you have some coffee ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಕಾಫಿ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಕಾಫಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಡಿಸೋದು. So it is a request. It is an offer. It is an invitation. Will you be quiet? All staff will submit the course plan before the end of this month. It is an order. So ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಆಜ್ಞೆಗೂ ನಾವು will use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. To indicate typical or characteristic behavior. She will sit for hours watching TV. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಳು ಸ್ವಭಾವ 3 ಹೊತ್ತು ಟಿವಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ. Sulfuric acid will dissolve most metals. Again, that is the characteristic of sulfuric acid. Will is often used when we tell people about a decision made at the time of speaking. So ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತರ. I will complete the lesson when we meet tomorrow. So ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು 1 hour ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಪಾಠ ಮುಗಿಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ನಾಳೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. I think I will go to bed now. ಸೊ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟಿವಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ನಿದ್ದೆ ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂತು, I will go to bed now ಅಂತ. So it is an on the spot decision. When will is stressed, it expresses determination. I will get a first class in the examination. Determination. To express promises and threats. You will do as you're told. Threat. Nan ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀನು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. I will phone you as soon as I reach. Promise. I promise I will call you. ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ನಿನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Promise. Will not or won't is used to express refusals. I won't lend you my book. I'm late and the car won't start. I won't. ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. So refusal. ನಾನು ಮೊದಲೇ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ, ಕಾರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Refusal. Will is not used in subordinate clauses. Not used in subordinate clauses. ನಾವು will ಅನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ, ಈ ತರ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿನ ನಾವು ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. I will phone you when I arrive ಅಂತೀವಿ. We cannot say I will phone you when I will arrive is not correct. We don't use will when future events are already decided. In such cases, the present progressive form is used. ಅಂದ್ರೆ on the spot decision ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು will use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಅದು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲೀವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮುಂಬೈ ಟುಮಾರೋ ಅಂತೀನಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂಬೈಗೆ ಹೊರಡೋದು ಅವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಹಿಂದೆನೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸೇ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಲೀವ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮುಂಬೈ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ನೌ ಅಂದಂಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲೀವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮುಂಬೈ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬೀನ್ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಅ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಗೋ. My ticket has already been booked. So adu agle nirdhara agogide. Will is used with the progressive tense. Will used with the progressive tense indicates a future event that are already fixed, that is already fixed or decided. Events anta irbekittu. Professor Sharma will be giving a lecture on industrial management next Thursday. So professor, it is already fixed. Now will be giving anta use ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. So progressive tense use ಮಾಡುವಾಗ progressive tense ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ will use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it is to indicate a future event that is already planned or decided. Next we will take up the uses of shall. In formal situation, shall is used with the first person to indicate the future. We shall make arrangements for your stay. I shall meet you tomorrow. I shall be here at 7 tomorrow. For your stay, that is, please. Andre, these are informal situations. Andre, now tumba formal agi, andre, like let's say 2 presidents or 2 prime ministers are talking to each other, that kind of a very formal situation, we use shall. With second and third person, shall indicates a promise or an order. You shall have a holiday tomorrow. Promise. ನಾನು ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಜಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. He shall not enter my class again. Order. ಅವನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೂಡುದು. Order. To ask for suggestions or instructions. Which dress shall I buy? Suggestion. ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ 2 ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ನನ್ಗೆ 2 ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ನ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾವ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೆ ಅಂತ. So that is a suggestion. You want her suggestion. Shall we go to the mall tomorrow? Mall naale mall hogonwa. Suggestion. What time shall I meet you tomorrow? Instruction. Nan nimman ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾಳೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು meet ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ? Instruction. You want some instruction from them.
ಬಂತು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಓಕೆ.
Shall is used in instructions and other legal documents refer to obligations or duties. So some legal documents nalli we use shall. Spelling and grammatical errors shall be penalized. It is an instruction to the students. ನೀವು question paper ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಇದನ್ನ. Spelling and grammatical errors shall be penalized. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿತೀವಿ. So shall be penalized. The tenant shall be responsible for the maintenance of the house. So ನೀವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ the tenant shall be responsible. Usually you have such sentences in a legal document. ನೀವು agreement ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋವಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ sentences ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Shall is used to ask after the will of the listener. ಅಂದ್ರೆ listener ಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ. Shall I open the window ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೋಸ್ಕರ. ನಿಮಗ್ ಶೆಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ನಿಮ್ಗ್ ಕಿಟಕಿ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೇಳೋದು. ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇ ಅಂತೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂದಾಗ ಶಾಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Shall I carry your books? ಬೇಕಾ, do you need help ಅಂತ. Shall is sometimes used with second and third person pronouns to express a threat. Threat andre ಧಮ್ಕಿ. You shall regret this. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ, ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಯು ಶಾಲ್ ರಿಗ್ರೆಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಇದನ್ನ ನೀನ್ ಪಶ್ಚಾತ್ತಾಪ ಪಟ್ಟೆ ಪಡ್ತೀಯ. ದೇ ಶಾಲ್ ಪೇ ಡಿಯರ್ಲಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಪೇ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತ. Uses of, so these are the uses of the first 4 auxiliaries: can, may, will and shall. Could. It is used as the past equivalent of can. Can, the past tense form can be could. I could swim across this river when I was young. General ability in the past. So ivaga supposing I can do it now, I say I can swim across this river. Andre ivaga nange aa samarthya ide anta, ability ide. I could swim across this river when I was young. Hinde ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳಿದ್ದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ರಿವರ್ ನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇತ್ತು. It is a general ability. When we talk about a particular action or situation, was or were able to is used, not could. So now was able to or were able to ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿದಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು was able to ಅಥವಾ were able to ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. could ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ could ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತಪ್ಪು. I ran after the bus and was able to catch it. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ನಂಗೆ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೊರಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಬಸ್ ಇಂದ ಓಡಿ ನನ್ ಬಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಯೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು. I was able to swim across this river yesterday. So here, ನಿನ್ನೆ ಈ ರಿವರ್ ನಾನು ಈಜ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಮೇ ಬಿ ನನಗೆ ಮೈಕೈ ನೋವು ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ರಿವರ್ ಫ್ಲಡ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಹುದು. ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಟುಡೇ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೈನ್ಸ್. ಆ ತರ ಏನಾನ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಎರಡೂನು ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನೆ. But we use could only for general ability. For particular situations, we use was or were able to. To express past or future permission. Could I bury my cat in your backyard? Permission. ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಕುಸಿತೋಗಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಯಾರ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆರಿ ಹೂಣ್ಬಹುದಾ? Express present possibility. We could always spend the afternoon just sitting around talking. So present possibility. ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹರಟೆ ಹೊಡಿಬಹುದು, ಆತರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. To express possibility or ability in contingent circumstances. If he studied harder, he could pass this course. Contingent ಅಂದ್ರೆ on a condition. ಅವನು ಇವಾಗ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. So it is a contingent circumstance. Could for requests. We often use could in a question to ask somebody to do something, and using could is very polite. The use of could in this way is fairly polite. It's more formal than can. Could you tell me where the bank is, please? Can you tell me in the could another more polite? Could you send me a catalog, please? So these are in a more formal, more polite situation. Use could in the positive and couldn't in the negative for general ability in the past. But when we talk about one special or particular occasion in the past, we use was able to or were able to. We can use both be able to in the positive and couldn't in the negative for negative situations. Past, general, my mother could speak French. My grandmother could speak French. Andre, it is in the past, general ability. But specific occasionally, a man fell into the river yesterday. The police were able to save him. Illi the police could save him anta helodilla. My grandmother couldn't speak French. Avrige sadhya irlilla. General ability nu helbodu, special occasion gu couldn't helbodu. A man fell into the river yesterday. The police couldn't save him. Negative. Use could for possibilities in the future. Here's an example of could to talk about future possibilities. Do you have any ideas for our publicity campaign? Yes, I've got a few ideas. I could put advertisements on Facebook and Google. We could also give out pamphlets in our neighborhood. Maybe John could even contact local TV stations. So itara future possibilities. Munde itara ella mada sadhya ide anta. We could use could to make polite requests. Could you please open the window? It's hot in here. Nange sheke agta ide. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ window open ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Could you turn the music down? Thanks. The music is very loud. So please turn down the volume. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ volume ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ. Thank you. Could you make 10 copies of the report, please? ಈ report 10 copies ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ, please? And versus could. I can attend the party. I could attend the party. See, ಎರಡಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನು? Both sentences are correct, please. The first sentence is more positive. The speaker has no problem in attending the party. In the second sentence, the speaker is less definite or he's more hesitant. He can attend the party based on certain conditions, like getting permission from his parents, maybe. So, ee ತರ ಯಾನಾನು condition ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. But when he says, I can attend the party, ನನಗೇನ್ ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. I could get a better job if I were a graduate. Again, on the condition. ನಾನು ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಏನಾನ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. There is this man in the party here. Uses of might. The next auxiliary is might as a past equivalent of may. He said that I might borrow his bike anytime I wanted. So avaga might is in the past tense. ನಾನು ಅವ್ನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಆ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಯು ಮೇ ಬಾರೋ ಮೈ ಬೈಕ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕುವಾಗ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. He said that I might borrow his bike anytime I wanted. To talk about a chance that something will happen. I might get a letter today. If so, please keep it safe. So, chance today. I'm not very sure it's going to happen, but there is a chance that I might get a letter. So, bandre, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ safe agittiru. My friend might phone. If she does, tell her to call me after 5. So, ನನ್ನ friend phone ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So, ಅವಳು ಏನಾನ phone ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ 5 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ phone ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳು. To mean would perhaps. Take this tablet and go to bed. You might feel better in the morning. So, ಇವಾಗ ಏನೋ ಹುಷಾರ್ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಈ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ ನಾನು ನುಂಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಲ್ಕೋ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಸರಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ವುಡ್ ಪರ್ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ವುಡ್ ಪರ್ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಈ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. See that something was possible, not happen. If you had studied harder, you might have passed the examination. You were stupid to drive so rashly. You might have killed yourself. So, idralli please notice you have might with the present perfect form. That is might plus have plus past participle. So, either might plus have plus past participle use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಬಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. You might as well is used to compare one unpleasant situation with another. This movie isn't good. We might as well go back home. So ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೋರ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಿಕ್ಚರು ಬೋರ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇದಕ್ ಬದಲು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. So both are not a very pleasant, not very interesting situation. But ಈ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೇಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ವಾಸಿ. Might is used in affirmative clauses to make requests and suggestions. You might see if Raj is free tonight. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಬಾರ್ದಾ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಾಜ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿದಾನ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಬಾರ್ದಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆ ತರ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಮೈಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಜಾಬ್. ನಿಮ್ ಅಂಕಲ್ ನ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದಾ ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ. As a more hesitant or less definite form of may, it may rain this evening, maybe a 50% chance. It might rain this evening, maybe only a 25% chance. So may is stronger, might is weaker. We use might when we are not sure about something. I might see you tomorrow. Not sure, but naale nodudru nodbodu. It looks nice, but it might be very expensive. Nodakkeno chanagide, but tumba costly irbodeno. It's quite bright. It might not rain today. Nodidre ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಿಸಿಲಿದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಮಳೆ ಬರೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ. For very polite requests, might I ask you a question? May I ask you a question? Is itself is polite, but ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಗ್ಗಿ ಬಗ್ಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ might I ask you a question? You're very hesitant, you're very diffident. Might we just interrupt for a moment? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಬಹುದಾ? So there is a person in the rain. We use may have and might have to show that something has possibly happened now or happened at some time in the past. It's 10 o'clock. They may have arrived now. Athwa you can also say they might have arrived now. Perhaps they have arrived. Agle ಬಂದಾಗಿರಬಹುದು. They might have arrived hours ago. Maybe ಬಂದ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೊತ್ತಾಗಿರಬಹುದು. The restaurant may close. It is likely that the restaurant will close. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು, ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. The restaurant could close. It is less likely that the restaurant will close. Andre ಮೇಗಿಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ less likely. The restaurant might close. There's only a possibility that the restaurant will close, but no one is very sure. Might andre yargu sure ag gottilla. But may use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it is more likely. Time ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Restaurant could close andre less likely. It's not yet time for the restaurant to close. The restaurant might close. I don't know because I don't know the timing. But close ago chances are more. Uses of would as the past equivalent of will. Tomorrow will be a fine day. Another definite ನಾವು past present tense ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. The weather forecast said that the next day would be fine. So you're using it in the reported speech or indirect speech, and you're using the past tense form of will. To express future in the past. In Chandigarh, he met the girl that he would one day marry. So Hindi. Now we are talking about two events, both in the past. But one event happened after the other event. So Chandigarh nalli iddaga, adu past, tumba Hindi. ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು he met the girl. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಗರ್ಲ್ ನಾನು ಅವನ ಮುಂದೆ ಅವಳನ್ನ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಚಂಡೀಗಢ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಪಾಸ್ಟ್, ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. As a child, he accompanied his uncle to the college that he would study in. ಸೊ ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅವನ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಜೊತೆಲೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋದ. ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜು? ಅವನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಓದ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ. As a more polite form of will in request. Would you lend me your scooter? Will you lend me your scooter? ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೋರ್ ಗತ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. Would you is more polite. Would is like is a more polite form of want. I would like some coffee, please. So now ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಫಿ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I would like some coffee, please. I want some coffee ಗಿಂತ more polite. Would you like some coffee? Compare. Do you want some coffee? Would you like some coffee ಅನ್ನೋದು offer or invitation. Do you want some coffee ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂಥರ ತುಂಬಾ bland ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳೋದು. Would for unreal situations. The auxiliary would is used for unreal or imagined situations. I would love to visit New York. She would like to be a professional footballer. We would go, but we're too busy. So unreal situation. Andre agak sadhyavillde iro anta situation. I would love to visit New York. Sadhya idyo illo. But nangantu ase ide. She would like to be a professional footballer. Or professional footballer agbeku anta ase ide. But it's again not a very possible situation. We would go, but we are too busy. Now hogtidvi, but nam tumba ivag kelsa ide. So there's a cup of coffee there. Would conditional sentences. Would is used again for unreal and hypothetical situations in the second and third conditionals. Second conditional. If I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Andre in the past tense. If I won, nanige nanu lottery hodidre nanu desha ella prapancha ella suttutini. Third conditional. If I had worked harder, it is in the passive voice. Sorry, perfect tense. If I had worked harder, nanu ಏನನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ I would have passed the test. ನಾನು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Would not as to refuse. I wouldn't or I would not is used to show that someone refused to do something. I asked him if I could borrow his car, but he wouldn't lend it to me. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ ಕಾರ್ ನ ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. Would for past actions. Would can be used to talk about actions that are repeated in the past. It is used in the same context as used to. When I was young, I would do my homework every evening. Past action. ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳಿದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ನ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಂಜೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. In the summer, we would always go camping. So summer ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಿಪ್, ಟ್ರೆಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರಿಪ್, ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. Would for polite requests and questions. Would you open the door, please? Will you open the door? Ginda more polite. Would you go with me? Bartira, please. More polite than, will you go with me? Would you know the answer? More polite than, do you know the answer ginta more polite? What would the capital of Nigeria be? More polite than, what is the capital of Nigeria? So when you're probably ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರನೋ ಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅವಾಗ would you know the answer to this question? What would the capital of Nigeria be? Usually you use it in a situation where the person you're talking to is a stranger. What is the capital of Nigeria? Another name teacher name question. Would for opinions and hope. I would imagine that they'll buy a new one. That is my opinion. Or ಹೊಸದೇನಾನು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I suppose some people would call it torture. That's again my opinion. I would have to agree. My opinion. I would expect him to come. Hope. Now ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ hope ಇದೆ. Since you asked me, I'd say the blue one is best. Again, that is my opinion. ನನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Again, I plus would becomes I'd. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ I apostrophe D ಅಂದ್ರೆ I plus would ಅಂತ. ನನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನನಗೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಇಷ್ಟ. Would for wish. I wish you would stay. ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I really want you to stay. I hope you will stay. They don't like me. I'm sure they wish I'd resign. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನನ್ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂಥರ ಹೋಪ್ ಇದೆ ನಾನು ಬೇಗ ರಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಹೋಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Although there's always a main verb, sometimes it is used as in not stated. ಅದು without the main verb ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ನಾವು ಈ auxiliaries ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. I'd like to stay. I wish you would. I'd like to stay ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ I wish you would. So I wish you would stay ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. I wish you would ಅಂತ full stop ಹಾಕ್ತಾಳೆ. Do you think he'd come? I'm sure he would. Who would help us? Pawan would. So ಈ ತರ second sentence ನಲ್ಲಿ we have not used the main verb. Note that all of these uses of would express some kind of distance or remoteness. Right? Remoteness, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ distance maintain ಮಾಡೋ ಹಾಗೆ. Remoteness in time ಅಂದ್ರೆ past time, ಇವಾಗ present ಅಲ್ಲ. Distance ಅಂದ್ರೆ time. ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೋ ನಡೆದಿರೋದು. I thought it would rain, so I brought my umbrella. Remoteness of possibility or probability. Why don't you invite Mary? I'm sure she would come. Probability, we are not sure. Remoteness between speakers. Formality or politeness. Would you lend me your scooter? Very polite, very formal. Uses of should. Indicate obligation. That is things that are desirable or more important for people to do. You should obey the law. It is desirable. Everyone should wear the seat belt while driving a car. Again, it is a important thing to do. It is a desirable thing to do. The application should be sent before 31st August. I should be at work before 9 o'clock. It's important because that is my time. So ನಾನು ಆಫೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಈ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನ 31ರೊಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು. Should can also express something between recommendation and obligation. Be supposed to expresses a similar idea and can easily be used in the past or in negative form. Should for recommendation or advisability. People with high cholesterol should eat low-fat food. And then recommendation. I recommend that you eat low-fat food. I advise you to. Frank should have eaten low-fat foods. That might have prevented his heart attack. Iವಾಗ heart attack ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಅವನು ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು low-fat food ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. You really should start eating better. You know, you eat too much junk food, so you should start eating better. ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Sarah shouldn't smoke so much. It's not good for her health. Sarah is already a heavy smoker, so ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಇದು ಅವಳ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಲ್ಲ. Sarah shouldn't have smoked so much. That's what caused her health problems. So Sarah ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಮಾಡಾಗೋಗಿದೆ, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಶುರು ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ, ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಆವಾಗ ಹೇಳೋದು. Sarah shouldn't smoke when she visits Rama next week. Rama hates when people smoke in her house. So now next week Rama ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅವಳು ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರಮಗೆ ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು, ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. The first sentence is the present, second refers to the past tense, and the third sentence refers to the future tense. ಈ ಯೂಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ought to ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ people with high cholesterol ought to eat low fat foods ಅಂತ you can interchange should with ought to. Should for expectation or likelihood. And you should be in New York by now. ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾನು in all probability it's likely that she is in New York now. And you should have arrived in New York last week. Let's call her and see what she's up to. So ಹೋದ ವಾರಾನೇ ಅಂಜು ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳೋಣ. ಅಂಜು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಬೈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್. ಮುಂದಿನ ವಾರ ಅವಳು ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಹರ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಜಾಬ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಂಡೇ. ಅಂಜು ಶುಡಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಯೆಟ್. ಸೊ ಅವಳು ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಜು ಶುಡಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅರೈವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ಯೆಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ. ಸೊ ಅವಳು ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ಗೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ತನಕ ಬರಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಅವಳಾಗ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಅಂಜು shouldn't arrive in New York until next week. So ಮುಂದಿನ ವಾರ ತನಕ ಅಂಜು ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ought to or supposed to ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅಂಜು ought to be in New York by now. ಅಂಜು is supposed to be in New York by now. ಆ ತರ we can interchange. ಇಲ್ಲಿ should ಇರೋ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ought to ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ be supposed to ಅಂದ್ರೆ is or am, whatever it is. Used to say that you expect something is true or will happen. We should arrive before dark. I should have finished the book by Friday. The room should be less crowded today. So you're expecting something will happen. We should arrive before dark. Nangansate navu katlagok munche navu serbiಡ್ತೀವಿ. I should have finished the book by Friday. Remember, when you use it with the perfect tense, should plus have plus past participle, it means that it is an obligation that was not fulfilled, an unfulfilled obligation. Andre ನೀವು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಬಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಫ್ರೈಡೇ ಒಳಗೆ ಈ ಬುಕ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಬಟ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. The road should be less crowded, but ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು road in all probability it is not very crowded. In formal situations, used to refer to a possible event or situation. If you should change your mind, do let me know. So ನೀವು ಏನಾನ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿ. Should you need any help, here's my number. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾನ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is my number. Should anyone call ಅಂದ್ರೆ if anyone calls, please tell them I'm busy. When you regret not doing something in the past, you can say, I shouldn't have spoken to him like that. I should have apologized earlier. So ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಗೆ again, like I told you, you use should plus have plus past participle form. Used to show what is right, appropriate, etc., especially when criticizing somebody's actions. You shouldn't drink and drive. So ನೀವು when you're expressing disapproval, ನೀವು ಕುಡಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. She shouldn't let the child play with scissors. ಮಗು ಕೈಗೆ scissors ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು. He should have been more careful. ಅವನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. A present for me? You shouldn't have. ನನಗ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ತರಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ that is a way of thanking somebody for their thoughtfulness. The child playing with scissors, and here is a present. Telling someone they did wrong thing, it is used with have. Sometimes you might feel that someone missed an opportunity to do the right thing. To tell them what they did wrong, you can use should and have. That is a past obligation. You should have worked harder if you wanted to finish all the work by today. So ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈ ವಾರದೊಳಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನೊಳಗೆ ಈ ದಿನದೊಳಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. I shouldn't have eaten so much cake. Now I have a stomach ache. I should have studied harder for my exams. Used for giving or asking for advice. You should stop worrying about it. Advice. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. Don't worry about it. Should I call him and apologize? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಸಾರಿ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾ? Suggestion or advice. Should I wait a little long? I should wait a little longer if I were you. ನಾನೇ ನೀವಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ಕಾಯ್ತೀನಿ. Used to say something was expected. Something that was expected has not happened. It should be snowing now according to the weather forecast. So weather forecast ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ನೋ ಬೀಳಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಮಳೆ ಬೀಳಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. It's not happened. The bus should have arrived 10 minutes ago. So ನಮ್ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಹಿಂದೆನೆ ಬಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. Why, how, who, what should somebody or something do? Used to refuse something or show that you are annoyed at a request. Used to express surprise about an event or a situation. Why should I help him? He's never done anything for me. ನಾನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನನ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. How should I know where you've left your bag? ನನಗೇನ್ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ನೀವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ? ನನಗೇನ್ ಗೊತ್ತು? I got on the bus and who should be sitting in front of me? But Tony. ನಾನು ಬಸ್ ಹತ್ತದೆ and ನನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾರು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? Tony. Used to tell somebody that something would amuse or surprise them if they saw or experienced it. You should have seen her face when she found out. ನೀವು ಅವಳು ಗೊತ್ತಾದಾಗ ಅವಳ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು should ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Uses of must. Must is most commonly used to express certainty. It can also be used to express necessity or strong recommendation. Although native speakers prefer the more flexible form, have to. Must not can be used to prohibit actions, but this sounds very severe. Speakers prefer to use the softer modals such as should not or ought not to dissuade rather than prohibit. Must another very strong. So now must badlu should athwa ought use martivi. This must be the right address. Certainty. So now address ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಇದೇ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮನೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ಮನೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. You're sure, certain. Students must pass an entrance exam to study at this school. So ಈ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. Necessity. You must take some medicine for the cough. Strong recommendation. ನೀವು ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ಕೆಮ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ನೀವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. Jyoti, you must not play in the street. Prohibition. Markurdu, prohibit. Not allowed. We use must when we want to say that it is necessary or very important that something happens in the present or future. To express obligation or duty. This also refers to laws and regulations. I must memorize all of these rules about modal verbs. So, ಈ modal verbs ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. Must. People must remain seated until the show is over. ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕುಳಿತೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. You must wear a seat belt at all times. Seat belt ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. I must work hard on my English. This expresses an obligation that you place on yourself. I must work. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಟಿ ವೀಕ್, ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್. ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ we use must to ask about what the hearer thinks is necessary. Must I clean all the rooms? Why must you always play the music so loudly? So must I clean all the rooms? ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾ? ನೀನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೌಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ? Is it necessary? Emphasize the necessity of something. Humans must have drinking water at least every 2 days. So ನಾವು ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2 ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಸರ್ವೈವ್. You must give up smoking. It's bad for you. Necessity. We must have a special permit to camp in the national park. So national camp ಒಳಗೆ camping ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ special permit ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. You must study the last 2 chapters before the test. So test ಮುಂಚೆ ಈ last 2 chapter ನ ನೀವು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು. Plants must have light and water to grow. Plants ಗೆ water and light ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. You must drive carefully. You drive careful ಆಗಿ drive ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. It is also used for deduction or to show that something is true. So ಇದು ಇದಾಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು true ಆಗಿರಲೇಬೇಕು. We use this when we don't know, but we are certain that it is true based on evidence. Look at all of that snow. It must be really cold outside. Note, ಎಷ್ಟು snow ಇದೆ ಆಚೆ. ಆಚೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚಳಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. The ground was wet this morning. It must have rained last night. ಆಚೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು wet ಇದೆ. So it must have rained last night. Dinosaurs were very big. They must have eaten a lot. It's 5 in the morning and you still haven't gone to bed. You must be tired. ಆಗ್ಲೇ 5 ಗಂಟೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು, ಇನ್ನ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ತುಂಬಾ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Kiran must be home. I heard a noise coming from his room. So Kiran room ಇಂದ ಏನೋ ಶಬ್ದ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಿರಣ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು. Expresses a positive logical function. Must plus have plus past participle. They must have been. That must have been my mother calling me last night. Nobody else has my number. Logical conclusion. So phone ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಾತ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಮ್ಮನೇ ಇರಬೇಕು because ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ನನ್ನ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. He must have won the lottery with the new house and the car he has just bought. So ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕಾರು ಹೊಸ ಮನೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಲಾಟರಿ ಹೊಡೆದಿರಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲೋ. She must have been at home because her car was there. A strong recommendation, something that is highly recommended, stronger than using should. We really must get together for dinner sometime. Nam ondina dinner meet ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. You must see the new Tom Hanks movie. It's fantastic. ನೀವು ಈ ಹೊಸ ಟಾಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಮೂವಿನ ನೋಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. That ice cream here, the ice cream here is delicious. You must try some. ಈ ಅಂಗಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಐಸ್ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. Mustn't, must not. Negative is mustn't, which refers to prohibition or negative obligation. Mustn't is equal to must not. You mustn't use your smartphone while you're driving. Prohibition, you're not allowed. It's not correct to do that. You mustn't get on the subway if you haven't paid for the ride. So ನೀವು ಟಿಕೆಟ್ಲೆಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ದು. ಸಬ್ವೇ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಹತ್ಕೊಡ್ದು ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ. You must not open the gift until it is your birthday. So gift ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀನಿ, but birthday ತನಕ ನೀವು gift open ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ದು. We must not tell anyone. ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ದು. We use must to give emphasis to an opinion. I must admit it was a frightening experience. I must confess, admit. We use I must admit before a surprising or negative comment. So negative comment athwa surprising when you're expressing surprise, avaga I must admit antivi. I must say this food is delicious. I must say ಊಟ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಟೇಸ್ಟಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. In this sentence we would not say I must admit. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ I must admit ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ because ಅವಾಗ ಒಂಥರ ರೂಡ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. It would mean that we did not expect the food to be good, but it is very good. So when you say I must admit food is delicious andre nam food actually ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, but ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಂಥರ rude. So if somebody is giving you lunch or dinner and you say I must admit this food is good, then you're giving him you're being very rude. ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನಂಗಾಯ್ತು. So it's not correct. Don't say that. So you say I must say ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಈ ತರ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ you say I must say. I must admit I didn't like him much when I first met him. I must say you look really well. Have you been on holiday? Must versus have to. Must can be replaced by have to with little difference in meaning. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ meaningful difference ಇದೆ. You have to stay. Athwa you must say. So, sometimes we can use it And you can substitute have to with must sometimes, but not always. He has to finish the report by Friday. Obligation, we use somebody else is telling you. I must be home by 7. That is an internal obligation. When I use must, it is my own thinking, my own obligation. It is something that I have imposed on myself. If not, I will miss my favorite nature. So now, we'll run it.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಪಿಪಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಬಂತ
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟರ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ವೈಫೈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್
ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತರಬೇತಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್.
I must be home by 7. If not, I'll miss my favorite TV show. I have to be home by 7. Otherwise, my father will scold me. Andre, I must be home is something that I have imposed on myself. I have to be something that somebody else has imposed on me. Namma appa helkalsidare. In 7 gante mane bandirabeku. I must see a doctor. I have decided to see a doctor. I have to see a doctor. My mother insists that I see a doctor. We use must when the obligation is internal. That is, when we impose the obligation on ourselves. The obligation comes from the speaker. We use have to when the obligation is external. That is, when it is imposed on us by somebody else. Innobru nammele obligation impose madadaga navu have to antivi. Have got to means the same as have to. It is more informal and used a lot in spoken English. So now, have got to antanu heltivi. I've got to be home by 7. I've got to see a doctor. Itarano use martivi. And have got to is more common when we are speaking. Have to another written language in the have got to For questions, it is more common to use have to instead of must, which sounds very formal. When you have to pay, when you have to pay, so when you have to finish the report, does he have to take a blood test? The past tense of must is had to. I had to pay my speeding ticket yesterday. Please ignore the pay date. When you have to finish the report, yava mugisbeku. Should is a weaker form of must. Anju must be home by now. I think she's certainly at home. Anju should be at home by now. So the money so irlebeku annadukku irbohudu annadukku ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ. So irbohudu ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ should use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, irbeku ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ must use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Must We use must emphasize that we think it is a good idea for someone to do something pleasant. It is a way of giving a recommendation. You must come and visit us while you're in London. So in London, visit. You must come. We must go and see that film. I've heard it is excellent. A movie now ನೋಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ make an assumption or to reach a logical conclusion about something that is very likely to be true. Example, you must be so tired after running that marathon. Andre, logical conclusion. Note, this means I assume that you're so tired. My bicycle has disappeared. Someone must have stolen it. Cycle maya agogide yaro kaddirbodu. Note, this means I assume that someone has stolen it. You must have been so cold when you were locked out of your house in the snow. So ನೀವು ಕೀ ಮರ್ತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಚೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾಗ you sitting in the snow ತುಂಬಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಚಳಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ. I assume that you were so cold. In the above, the opposite of must is can't. He didn't eat any lunch. He can't have been hungry. He wasn't the he can't. I assume that he was not hungry. I don't believe he is a chief. It can't be true. I don't believe that he is a thief. Must can also be used as a noun. We say something is a must if it is really necessary to have it. If you're visiting London, a good map is a must. So illi adu noun agi use ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Must, uses of must, obligation. You must wear a seat belt when you drive. Can also be used as deduction. Look at all the snow. It must be cold outside. Emphasize necessity. Plants must have light and water to grow. Strong recommendation. We must get together for dinner soon. Mustn't indicates prohibition. You mustn't use your phone while driving. Must versus have to. Must expresses obligation imposed by the speaker, while have to expresses external obligations. Teacher, you must complete this essay by Friday. Student, we have to complete this essay by Friday. It is more common to use have to instead of must in questions. Does he have to do the test? Must he do the test? Gita, does he have to do the test is more common. We use had to instead of must in the past tense. I had to pay my speeding ticket yesterday. Must versus don't have to. Be careful with the negative of must and have to, where they do have a different meaning. Mustn't is negative obligation. It is important that you do not do something. Andre prohibition, not allowed, modle kurdu. Why does don't have to is an absence of obligation. Modo agatya illa anuvaga don't have to antivi. Mustn't is prohibited. It is not allowed. Don't have to and needn't or need not means not necessary. There is no obligation. Modo agatya illa. You must not drink that. Adana mean kudile kurdu because it is poisonous or whatever. It is forbidden to drink that. It's not allowed. You don't have to, or you needn't drink that. Ninge ishta illa andre adane kudiyo agatya illa bitbidu. So don't do it. You mustn't tell John. John hele kurdu. You don't have to, or you needn't tell John. John helo agatya illa. Mustn't versus don't have to. Be careful, there is a difference in meaning. Mustn't means it is prohibited. It is not allowed. It is important that you do not do something. You must not drink that. It is forbidden to drink that. Don't drink that. It is not allowed. You mustn't tell John. Do not tell John. You're not allowed to tell John. Don't have to. There is no obligation. Idralli agatya anta ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. You're not required to do something. ಅದನ್ನ ಮೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. You don't have to drink that. ಆ ಡ್ರಿಂಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಏನ್ ಕುಡಿಯೋದೇನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. You don't have to tell John. You can tell John if you want to, but it is not necessary. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದೇನ್ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, no problem. Uses of ought to. Ought is different from other modal auxiliary verbs. It is followed by an infinitive with to. Ought expresses ideas such as duty, necessity, moral obligation, etc. It is not as forceful as must, but it is stronger than should. So, more no, must, should, and ought, all three, indicate obligation. But most, the strongest is must, other next is ought, other next is should. We ought to help the poor and the needy, duty. You ought to exercise regularly. It is a necessity. You dina exercise ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. She ought to be back by 10 o'clock. ಅವಳು 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. When ought refers to past time, it is followed by the perfect infinitive. You ought to have helped. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ought to ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Predict that something is fairly likely or expected based on normal circumstances or logic. Our long delayed mail is on the way from France and ought to arrive today. The weather oughtn't to be cold in May. So adu May nalli ishtu chali irukuddu. To offer or ask for advice or recommendations. If you haven't read the book, then you ought to see the movie. What ought to be done to improve things? So now, improve ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Shivering in the month of May. Use ought to plus have plus ed form to talk about things that were desired or ideal in the past, but which didn't happen. It can express regret. We ought to have locked the gate. Then the dog wouldn't have got out. ನಾವು ಗೇಟ್ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಯಿ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. I often think that I ought to have studied medicine, not engineering. ನಾನು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ನನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಬದಲು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I would be happier now if I had studied medicine. Ought to, when we talk about what is likely or probable, there ought to be some good films at the cinema this weekend. In theater ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. The concert ought to take only about 2 hours, so we'll be home by 12 p.m. So ನಾವು ಇದು ಒಂದು 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಕಚೇರಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನಾವು 12 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. Used to say what is the right thing to do. They ought to apologize. ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ behavior. Ought I to write to say thank you? ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾ? Yes, I think you ought to. ಹೌದು, ನನ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. They ought to have apologized. Idರಲ್ಲಿ again, when you use it with the perfect tense, it means an unfulfilled obligation. ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಬಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. Such things ought not to be allowed. ಅಂತನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು. He oughtn't have been driving so fast. ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. Used to say what you expect or would like to happen. Children ought to be able to read by the age of 7. So ಅವ್ರು 7 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗೋ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಓದ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. Nurses ought to earn more. Used to say what you advise or recommend. We ought to be leaving now. This is delicious. You ought to try some. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಥವಾ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. You ought to have come to the meeting. It was interesting. ನೀನು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. Used to say what has probably happened or is probably true. If he started out 9, he ought to be here by now. 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ. That ought to be enough food. That ought to be enough food for the 4 of us. So ಇದು ನಮ್ 4 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಊಟ. Oughtn't the water to have boiled by now? ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನೀರು ಕಾದಿರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ವಾ? Useful advice. You ought to write to your grandmother. Grandmotherಗೆ ಮೊದಲು ಲೆಟರ್ ಬರಿ ಪಾಪ. Logical deduction. 300 rupees ought to be enough for the taxi. Nina ought to be 17 now. It's a logical deduction. ಸಾಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ನೀನಾ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಗ ನನ್ ಮದ್ವೆ ಆಗದಾಗ ನೀನಾ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ಲು. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ 15 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Uses of dare. Dare is used as an auxiliary. It is only used in interrogative and negative sentences. Dare as an auxiliary means be brave enough to, or will have the courage to. It is not much used in affirmative sentences. Dare as a main verb means to challenge. So here, dare can be used as an auxiliary. It can be used as a main verb also. But now, main verb use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು meaning ಬೇರೆ. Auxiliary use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದರ meaning ಬೇರೆ. So auxiliary use ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ, be brave enough to or courage to. But dare ನ ಮೇನ್ ವರ್ಬ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾನು ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋವಾಗ dare ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. I dare not or daren't compete. I told you, it is usually used in negative sentences and interrogative. Interrogatives ಅಂದ್ರೆ questions. ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. I dare not ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ I daren't ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Contracted form. I daren't compete with her. ಅವಳ ಜೊತೆ ನಾನು ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಂಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. I dare you to prove my calculations wrong. Here it is used as a main verb. Dare you challenge me. Then challenge ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟು ನಿನಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಬಂತ? Auxiliary. He doesn't dare to challenge him. ನನಗೆ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. How dare you come here? How dare you come here again? Dare is an auxiliary. Dare is used both as a principal verb and as an auxiliary verb. Principal verb andre main verb. Dare as a principal verb is used in the sense of defy, challenge, or face boldly. Note that the principal verb dare is followed by an infinitive to. It also has forms like dares and dared. Andre ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ past tense form ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Principal verb or main verb ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ. You remember that auxiliaries don't have the past tense form. She dared to swim across the river. It's a main verb or principal verb. How does he dare to do it? ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇದೆ, boldness ಇದೆ. She's swimming across the river there. As an auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb dare is followed by an infinitive without to. The auxiliary dare is common in questions and negative sentences. It doesn't have forms like dares or dared. Itara namu auxiliary agi use madodilla. Dares and dared na auxiliary agi use madak sadhya illa. Questions and negatives are made without do. He dare not do so. Not he dares not do so another tappu. He dare not take such a risk. She dares not to take another tappu. Dare she say that to him? Avಳಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಾ? How dare he do such a thing? ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಬಂತ? Uses of need. Like dare, need is also used in the interrogative and negative sentences only. So questions and negative sentence will ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು need as an auxiliary ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Need as a main verb or principal verb means require. He needs my help. Here needs is a main verb. We need 2 more players for the team. Need is a main verb. We've got what we need. Here again need is a main verb. When need is used as an auxiliary verb, its form remains the same. Needed the use ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Whatever be the number or person of the subject. The auxiliary need is common in questions and negatives. It means to be under a necessity or obligation to do something. So, ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಗತ್ಯ. But usually ನಾವು need not ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. He need not ask my permission. Avanu nan permission tagola agatya illa. They need not make such a fuss over it. Not necessary. You need not mention this to anyone else. Idr bagge ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. Sometimes it is used with hardly. I need hardly say that I am grateful. Hardly another negative meaning baratte. So not another, hardly has a negative meaning. So you can use need with hardly. I need hardly none. Helod necessity illa. We need hardly remind you of your promise to visit us. Andre nimge remind mado necessity illa. I need hardly add that you're always welcome. Necessity illa. It can be used with only. He need only say what he wants and it will be granted. Only ಜೊತೆಲೂ ನಾವು auxiliary ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅವನ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. You need only sign this form and I shall do this rest. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಒಂದ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. I need only add that we shall always remain indebted to you for your help. Need is usually used in questions without not. Need he wait any longer? Now not use modala. Questions or interrogative sentences. Need I come again? Matte barbeka. He need not wait any longer. Need he? Need here is used as a question tag. If the answer is in the negative, we will say no, you or he need not. But ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುವಾಗ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುವಾಗ ನೀಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ನೀಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ನೀಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್, ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಸೇ ಎಸ್, he must, she must, you must. ಆತರ. ನೀಡ್ ಹಿ ವೇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಲಾಂಗರ್, ಅವಾಗ ನೋ ಅಂತ ಇರುವಾಗ no, he need not ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಸ್ ಅಂತ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ಎಸ್ he must ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಎಸ್ he needs ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಸ್ he need ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, he must ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So another thing you must remember, we can make yes no questions with these auxiliaries. So now auxiliary in the ನಮ್ಮ sentence ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it becomes a question and it is usually an yes no question. Okay? The answer to these questions will be yes or no. The opposite of need not or needn't in such a context is not need but must. Need not in opposite must ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, need ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Need without not is also used in the following kinds of statements. Need only 200 rupees. ಈ ತರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. There need be no further correspondence on this matter. When referring to past time, need is followed by the perfect infinitive. He need not or needn't have lost his temper. They need not or needn't have come all this way. We need not or needn't have waited for his approval. A small recap. Statements in which need is made, in which the need made negative. Need not, need never, need no, plus adverb or now, needn't. She need not hurry. There need never come a time like that. He needs no more reply than make an outright confession. There need be no doubt in your mind. Question expecting a negative answer. Need he show unfriendliness? We ask whether money need absorb his attention. Need there be more than 10? Statements containing minimizing adverbs such as barely, hardly, only, but, scarcely, seldom, solely, rarely. It needs seldom be required of them. He needs scarcely expect more than that. She need look at the picture only if she wants to. So seldom, scarcely also have a negative meaning. The structure need not plus perfect infinitive can be used to say that somebody did something, but that was not necessary. They need not have come all this way. That is, they came all this way, but it was not necessary. We need not have waited for his approval. We waited for his approval, but it was not necessary. Note Need not have does not mean the same as did not need to. When we say that somebody did not need to do something, we are simply saying that it was not necessary, whether or not it was done. Compare, I need not have bought it. I bought it, but it was not necessary. I didn't need to buy it. It was not necessary for me to buy it, so I didn't. Now, I didn't need to buy it. Now, but necessity irlilla antanu helಬಹುದು. Uses of used to. It is used to say that something happened continuously or frequently during a period in the past. I used to live in London. We used to go sailing in the lake in summer. I didn't used to like him very much when we were at school. You used to see a lot of her, didn't you? If something used to happen, it happened regularly or all the time in the past, but does not happen now. He used to go to our school. We are eating out more often than we used to. So these are some examples. If a particular situation used to exist, or it existed for a period of time in the past, but does not exist now, avaga used to helthivi. Vinay used to be a friend of mine. Avaga nange friend agidda, ivagilla. There used to be a large car park on this side. ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾರ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಇವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. Did not used to be something. Why are you so bad tempered? You didn't used to be like this, but it is more common to say you never used to. So why is don't ಯಾಕೆ ಕೋಪ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ಮುಂಚೆ ಈ ತರ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನೀನು. ಅವಾಗ didn't used to be ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, but never used to is more common. You never used to be like this, another more common. Did somebody or something used to be or do something? Did this building used to be a hotel? Where did you used to live before you come in? Here, when you use did, you don't use used. It's not necessary because did anadi namge past tense irovaga now used heltivi. Where did you? Did irovaga use heltivi. Used helalla. I'm confused. I used to do something and I'm used to doing something. You say, I used to live in Paris. Andre, avaga munche old something that existed in the past, something that used to happen in the past. When you lived in Paris in the past, you do not live there now. So I used to live in Paris andaga nan Paris nal munche idde ivagilla ano meaning nal helti. In this meaning, used to is followed by the base form of the word. That is the infinitive without to. You say, I'm used to living in Paris. And then abhyasa agide ano meaning nalli I am used to. Avaga ing form use martivi. When you're accustomed to living in Paris because you have lived there for some time. Now ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗಿದೆ. Being used to is followed by an ing form. Please remember, verb plus ing use martivi. Not infinitive. To plus verb use ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Don't say, I used to live in Paris. You say, I'm used to living in Paris. Used to is usually followed by an infinitive. We used to swim in the river, but sometimes the following infinitive is left out. I don't play golf now, but I used to. ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. Used to only exists as a past tense. Questions and negatives are usually formed with did plus used to without D. D use ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ because did is already in the past tense. Did you used to work here? We didn't used to earn much. In formal English, negatives are often formed with used not to. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ formal. ಇವಾಗ ಆ ತರ construction ಅಷ್ಟು it's not very common. They use not to allow shops to be open on Sundays. The short form used to and used to are sometimes used, but they sound rather formal and old-fashioned. So ಇವಾಗ ಆ ತರ construction ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. She has lots of friends. She dash be very popular. Can we have an interactive session? Interaction ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ? ಅವ್ರನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳೋಣ. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್. ಜನಸಂದ್ರ GPT Chansandra? ಕೇಳಿಸತ್ತಾ? ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay, let's try this exercise. ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರೀಸ್ Okay, she has lots of friends. She dash be very popular. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವಳು dash very ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? She has lots of friends. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ she has be very popular ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. I think has ಪಕ್ಕ be ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Has a primary auxiliary ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, be main verb ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. No. So what can you put there? Has to ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ auxiliary ಬೇಕು. Modal ಹಾಕಿ. ಯಾವ್ದಾನ modal auxiliary. Had ಬೇಡ, primary auxiliary ಬೇಡ, modal auxiliary ಹಾಕಿ. Question ಅದೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ. Okay, let me do the first one for you. He must be very popular. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವಳು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಅಂತ. So must is the right answer. Okay, next let's do the second one. Dash I open the window please? It's very hot in here. Dash I open the window ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಶೆಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ವಿಂಡೋ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ? Shall I open the window ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗ್ ಶೆಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ನಾನು ವಿಂಡೋ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನನಗ್ ಶೆಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ can I ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮೇ ಐ. ನೀವು ಯೂಶಲಿ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಹತ್ರ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So we use may when we are using please, because when we use may we are talking to somebody who is older than us. ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಸಾರಿ. I've got a friend who dash play the violin very well. I've got a friend who dash play the violin very well. I've got a friend who dash play the violin very well. ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹೂ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಮೋಡಲ್ ಹೇಳಿ. Who dash play the violin? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಯಲಿನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಸಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. No, does ಅಲ್ಲ, ability ಹೇಳಿ. What auxiliary is used to indicate ability? ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು? Yes, somebody said that right. Can is correct. Yes, can is the right word. Who can play the violin very well. My eyes aren't very good now. 5 years ago, I dash read the newspaper without wearing glasses. ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಐಸೈಟ್ ಕೆಟ್ಟೋಗಿದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. 5 ವರ್ಷದ ಮುಂದೆ ನನಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇತ್ತು, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಕನ್ನಡಕ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಓಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇತ್ತು. Could, correct. Could is correct. Could read the newspaper without wearing glasses. He's gone on leave 3 times this year. He dash take so many days off. ಅವನ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇ 3 ಸತಿ ರಜಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವನು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಜಾ ಹಾಕೂಡ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಹಾಕಿ. He shouldn't. Very good. You can say he shouldn't. Oughtn't andrenu correct.
Shouldn't.
Mustn't andrenu correct. But shouldn't actually is the best answer. Shouldn't is the correct answer. You can also say oughtn't. Shouldn't is perfectly all right. If the train is on time, I couldn't write all 3, and that's why I only wrote oughtn't. Aste. If the train is on time, Sita dash be late. Will be negative form ಹೇಳಿ. ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ
she won't
ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. But better would be again. Better would be shouldn't. Better would be shouldn't. If the train is on time, Sita shouldn't be late. Won't be late ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಪಕ್ಕ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋವಾಗ. ಬಟ್ ಪಕ್ಕ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ should ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Dog is on the loose. Dash attack someone. ನಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರನ್ನಾನು ಅದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸಂಭವನೀಯತೆ. It can attack ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಚಿಂತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? The dog is on the loose. It dash attack someone. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಮಾಡುವ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. Might or may. Yes, it might attack someone, it may attack someone. Yes. ನಾನು ಎರಡು ನಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೇನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. He has an exam coming up. He dash be feeling nervous. ನನ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
Shivering and ಭಯ. Shivering. ಭಯ.
He has an exam coming up. ಅವನಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. Must. Very good. He must be feeling nervous. None of my friends had a car, so they dash drive me to the airport. Negative again. ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಕಾರ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಕ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Only 2 more. Yeah, correct. ಯಾರೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
They couldn't. Very good. Couldn't is the right answer.
Sorry, ನಾನೇ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಂಟು ಬರೀಲಿಲ್ಲ. Typing mistake. Sorry, typo. That is a typing mistake. Life dash not be a bed of roses, but I am contented.
Please repeat them.
Life dash not be a bed of roses. Life the rose the bed ilde irಬಹುದು, but ನಾನಂತೂ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. couldn't ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ಲೈಫ್ not dash not.
Isn't.
modal ಹಾಕಿ. ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು modal ಬರಲ್ಲ. Life is not a bed of roses. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು ಆ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಲೈಫ್ ಬೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರೋಸಸ್ ಇಲ್ದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಮೇ you're right. Life may not be a bed of roses, but I am contented. So idish artha agide alva? If you practice more, this should be a very easy exercise to do in the exam.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a great day, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
And ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ